Today is my first day in New York City, and in this video we will get first impressions of America's biggest and most iconic city. My goal for today is to do 5 of the most iconic things you can do in New York, with the final one being watching a sunset from one of the best observation decks in the city. The problem is, this city is massive, and as someone who has never been here before, I am a bit worried whether I will be able to navigate my way around. I just got scammed by the subway in New York. Taxi prices here are crazy. Plus, I want to do everything in just one full day, so let's see if we can manage to do all 5 things before sunset. I will also show you exactly how much money I spent, because people always say this is one of the most expensive cities in America. So by the end of this video, you will know exactly what to expect as a tourist here. So, what is it really like to visit New York City as a tourist? Join me and let's find out. Okay, and we are starting our day here in New York City, right at the Central Park, already one of the most iconic and famous places here in New York City. I'll show you around the park in a minute, but first I'm actually very hungry and I haven't had an iconic New York hot dog yet. And I see plenty of these stalls here by the side of the road. Let's see if I can get a hot dog. Hello, can I get a hot dog here?
Sure.
Is
Ketchup, mustard, onions.
Ketchup, please. Is this one of the famous New York hot dogs?
Yes, sir.
Yes? Okay, my first time trying a hot dog here. So I'm actually surprised by the amount of stalls you can find here in New York by the side of the road. And looks like he's selling plenty of food. You're having lots of options here, right?
Yeah, it's like a small restaurant.
So all these dishes I can see on the pictures here, you all prepare them here?
Yeah.
Oh wow, okay. So you can get hot dogs here, corn dogs, mozzarella sticks, french fries, beef over rice, chicken kebab, chili cheese fries, everything here. Wow. So this is a New York hot dog.
Yes, sir. It's
Okay.
just ketchup is it.
Uh-huh.
I do have mustard, mango.
What about
onions.
these are onions?
Onions?
Not raw, but
This picture,
yes, crushed onions.
crunch.
Crunched. Okay, that's what I was looking for. Yes. All right, here we go. Adding some onions on the hot dog. All right, that's okay. That's enough already. Okay, how much is the hot dog?
$7.
$7?
Crunchy onions, $7.
And without the onions?
5.
5. So $2 extra for the onions.
Yeah.
All right. Then right here. Where are you from?
Egypt.
From Egypt.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. In Egypt you say shukran?
Afwan.
Shukran, right? All right. Thank you very much,
No,
sir.
no problem.
All the different stalls here, is it all like one big boss or are you all independent?
No, it's different companies.
So there's like one big boss for
Not
the
for
cards?
all of them. The company I work for, I have like 5-6 carts.
Yeah.
One in here, 2 in front of the Natural History Museum.
But the cards are not individually owned by one person, it's one big company.
Some of them.
Some of them.
Some of them.
Okay, interesting. Alright, and here we have an iconic New York hot dog. I'm actually surprised by the amount of places selling hot dogs here. You can literally find them everywhere. Okay, my first New York hot dog. Let's give it a try. Okay, adding the onions on top was a very good decision because I really like how crunchy they are. And then it's a very simple meal, but the taste is actually quite good. That's very good. Thank you so much. So it's simple, just the bun, the sausage, and then the onions on top. A simple but delicious meal. So a great start to explore New York City. Okay, then thank you so much for the hot dog. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Alright, that was a delicious little snack. Now I can say I ate a famous New York hot dog. Cold water, $1. Hello. Can I get one water, please? Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. So this park is actually quite huge, and to be honest, I am kind of surprised that there's such a huge park right in the middle of Manhattan. But before I started to film, I actually had a walk around already. Very beautiful, very peaceful, lots of families around, people relaxing on the greens. And actually, I thought that the Central Park would be more of a sketchy, dangerous place, because that's how this place is often portrayed in many movies. I have seen the Central Park in many movies before, but I actually also have been told already today that you should avoid visiting the Central Park after sunset. And to be honest, I also saw some homeless people around here already. So I'm not really sure what happens here after sunset, but I have been told not to come here once the sun is down. But during the day, it seems to be a lovely, family-friendly, cool place. And yet the reason why I'm surprised to see such a huge park in the middle of the city is because I could probably imagine that the value of the land here is really high. I mean, this is one of the most expensive areas in the whole world. So whoever owns the land here, I'm not sure if this land is owned by private persons or by the city maybe, but whoever owns this land, I'm surprised that they don't sell it to companies to build new skyscrapers here, you know. But maybe there's like a law that the land here cannot be sold or something like that. But nevertheless, it's a really cool place to have in the city, and I'm sure if I would live nearby here, I would probably come here often to chill. And look at this. This is one of these underground passes where in movies there are always the bad guys hanging out out. It's actually quite a cool feeling to walk around the Central Park, like a place that I'm sure most of you have seen in movies before. For example, one of my favorite movies as a child was Home Alone 2, and in that movie there are plenty of scenes where Kevin walks around the Central Park. For example, he meets this old lady in the movie here in the park. So very cool feeling to walk this park now by myself. And yeah, since I have just been to Los Angeles a few weeks ago as well, another very famous and iconic city here in America, I'm going to compare my two experiences in both cities throughout this video a bit. Oh, look at that. We have a squirrel here. I'm actually surprised how careless the squirrel is. Seems to be not afraid of humans. Oh, hello. I think I've never seen a squirrel before that is totally not afraid of close contact to human beings. Okay, but let's make it to another part of the city. And even though the Central Park is a very famous and iconic spot, it's not one of the 5 things I want to see or do in this video. So more interesting things are coming. Okay, and I want to take the metro now. Is this the metro station right here? I think it is actually. Or do you say subway in America? I'm actually not sure. Isn't metro and subway the same? I don't know, I'm not a native speaker. But yeah, this is obviously going to be my first time using the subway in New York City. Let's see how easy it is to use as a foreigner. Okay, but now the question is, how do I get tickets here? Okay, first of all, the metro system is huge here. So we have Manhattan here, we have the Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, the airport JFK, and you can reach every corner of the city with the metro. And we are here now, right next to the Central Park. And I want to go down here to Wall Street. This one, I think. Okay, how does this work? Touch to start. One time single ride. So it seems to be $3.25 no matter where I want to go. Cash. Oh, but it's not asking me where I want to go. Okay, $5. Okay, payment process, the spending ticket. Alright, and I have a ticket right here. And I get $1.75 change. Here we go. Is this $1.75? What is this? This is not a dollar, right? I'm short of $1. Did I just got scammed by the machine? Yeah, no dollar left. I just got scammed by the subway in New York. They owe me $1. Alright, and now I have this ticket here, so do I just scan it now and then go through? Right limit exceeded. What does it mean? I just bought it. That is crazy. Why can't I use it? I literally just bought it a minute ago. Excuse me, I just bought this ticket, and when I tap it, it says right limit exceeded.
Did you use it for someone else?
No, I literally just bought it a minute ago.
Yeah, 440. Alright, no worries. Just come on in.
You let me through here?
Yeah.
Okay. And I can use this ticket to go anywhere I want?
No, this is just for one time.
Like I didn't choose a destination?
You go wherever you want, doesn't matter.
Anywhere?
For any destination.
Okay.
Yeah, you want one time?
Do I need it to get out of the station? No. Okay, and can you help me how I can get to Wall Street?
Wall Street, take the number 1 downtown.
The number 1?
Yeah.
And it's one train or do I have to switch?
No, one train.
One train only. Okay, thank you so much. Okay. Alright, no idea why my card wasn't working, but he was very helpful. Let me in regardless. And now, I'm not sure if I should be a bit careful or worried, because I heard many times that the subway in New York is very dirty, very unsafe, very sketchy. So let's see how it really is. Okay, this is weird. How do I get to the train now? Oh, there are fans here. I am confused. He said number 1, right? Am I on the wrong stairs? How do I get there? It's always interesting to take the subway or metro for the first time in another country. I think I need to get over there. He said line 1, right? Uptown and the Bronx. I don't want to go to Uptown or the Bronx. Downtown and Brooklyn on that side. It sounds more like my direction. Okay, I think I actually understand it now. I think the way in the middle is just to pass to the other side of the station, not to actually get on the train. But yeah, I want to make sure that I'm taking the right train now. So let me see if I can find the map somewhere. But so far I have to say, yeah, I have seen cleaner metro stations in my life before, but it's not as bad as expected. But also I have heard that also the subway is a bit of a dangerous place, especially in the night. Okay, now I'm confused. This side or this side? Is there nobody working here to ask? And I don't really seem to have a lot of service staff around in America. I noticed that before in other situations. Like if I compare that to metro stations in Asia, for example, it's always very easy to find the staff around. But what also surprises me is that there's no map here. So how can I see where I'm going? Okay, I just went up the stairs and there's literally another train here. But what really confuses me, and from a tourist point of view, that's not really convenient, I'm missing like a map. Like a map that tells me all the stations. Okay, I'm checking on Google Maps now. So this is the red line and then number 1. So Uptown 1, is that the right one? I think yes. And yeah, the officer also said number 1. I was just confused because I saw like which side of number 1, this side or this side, you know? Okay, we have downtown 1 and we have uptown 1. So how do I know now which direction is mine? Uptown is probably north of Manhattan. So I think downtown is south of Manhattan, where I want to go. So I think I have to get in here. Excuse me. I'm going to Wall Street. Is this the right line?
Yeah, once you take this one, you get off this one and change to 2 or 3 Times Square.
Okay, then I'll take this one, the one that's coming here, and then change at Times Square.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I am a bit confused now because the officer said I don't need to change the train. But yeah, let's just go and then see where I will end up. Alright, and the train has arrived. Let's check it out. Okay, hopefully I can see where I am. I want to see how many stations I have to go. So we started here Columbus Cycle and then 2 stations only to Times Square. Okay, that sounds easy. Okay, and here we are, first stop. But I noticed already there was no announcement saying which stop this is. So you have to be careful and watch out for yourself. Okay, but then the next stop should be the Times Square. Alright, and here we are. So I hope this is Times Square now. Yeah, like I said before, there was no announcement. But here I can see it. So I am at Times Square. And then the gentleman said line 2 or 3. And I see 2 and 3 here. But now I'm not sure if that's the right direction. Excuse me. I want to go to Wall Street. Is this the right train? Yeah? Okay, I think yes. Okay, so I think I am on the right path now. And the next train is literally coming right away. So I think they are running very frequently here. Like every 1 or 2 minutes there's another train coming. But yeah, I know now it's a longer journey because there are no announcements. This is the right one, right? Yeah. Thank you so much. So because there are no announcements, I have to be careful now when I have to get off again. So first of all, let me find the sign up there. So yeah, I saw that before that these maps have like a dot telling you exactly where you are at the moment. That's not the case here. I want to go here, Wall Street, but where are we right now? I don't see Times Square on here, to be honest. On this side, Times Square. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stations now. Alright, that sounds easy. So let me count it so I don't miss my stop. Okay, stop number 2, and I just noticed this train actually has announcements on the speakers. But to be honest, I couldn't understand the word, so it's not really helpful. Okay, and I just noticed that even though we are underground, I have a connection here, so I can actually see on Google Maps where I am, and that helps me to figure out when the right time has come to get off. It's also very loud, very noisy. And I also noticed that many stations we are just passing by, we're not stopping there. Like this one, for example. Alright, and this is stop number 6, and I saw the sign Wall Street already. Alright, I made it. Okay, let's see if I can make it out of the station. I guess you don't need a ticket to exit the station. You can just walk through here, I think. Oh yes, alright. So yeah, overall, to be honest, not the best metro experience I ever had in a country. And I think if you have seen me taking the metro in other countries, you would agree with that opinion. Also not the cleanest metro system, very old trains. But overall, I think very usable to quickly get around different parts of the cities for an affordable price. And now here we are. So the Wall Street area is of course also a very famous and iconic area. But that's actually not where I want to go. But where I want to go is only a few blocks away from here by foot. There's a Trump building here. I would like to know what is happening in this building. Is this like an office building that Donald Trump owns? I think Donald Trump also owns hotels. I think there's actually one Trump hotel right next to the Central Park. But if anyone knows what actually is happening in this building, let me know in the comments. And this building right here is actually quite a historic place. This is the Federal Hall, where George Washington, the first president of the United States, was inaugurated in 1789. But it seems like it's currently under renovation. And there's actually a museum inside there today. Can I get a picture here?
Yeah, of course.
Like an old historic picture?
Yes.
Oh, that looks very cool. How much you're charging for that?
Just like tips.
So if I give you $5 for one picture, that's okay?
It's okay.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that looks actually very interesting. So you have like a modern camera inside, but it looks like an old one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, then what do you recommend? Where can we get a picture?
Yeah.
This side here?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see how the picture will turn out in the end. Okay. So it gets printed out immediately here.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the first one.
Oh, here we go. Okay. New York, wanted for good behavior.
And this one too.
Oh, that is so quick and fast.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a very great business idea. I like that. And it looks like from like an old newspaper from like 100 years ago.
right.
Did you came up with this idea by yourself, or is it like a business here that many people are doing?
Yeah, I just working here.
Oh, very cool. Oh, thank you so much. That's a great memory.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, $5 right here.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the memory. Excuse me, is this the Wall Street building?
Yes.
Ah, that's the Wall Street building right here.
Yeah.
Oh, New York Stock Exchange. Okay, cool. Okay, have a good day. Thank you. All right. So I literally just stumbled up on another famous place here, the Wall Street building, New York Stock Exchange. I didn't even notice that when I took the picture. So now I have a picture like this right in front of the famous New York Stock Exchange. So yeah, I keep stumbling up on famous places here that are not even on my list for today. So here we have the New York Stock Exchange. I actually have money invested into the American economy, so my money is working right there. I'm not sure what this little girl is symbolizing, but I see many people taking pictures with this statue. Excuse me, why is everyone taking a picture with the statue?
That's for women empowerment.
For women empowerment?
Yeah, because we're #1, baby. You can't live without us, that's why.
That's true actually, yeah.
And we don't want you to have a baby. That's why.
What is that meaning?
Wait to get a picture.
No, I'm just curious because I see everyone here takes a picture with the
Yeah,
statue.
because it's
It's part of
strong.
the history.
It's a history.
It's a historic fact.
Yeah, they said she's guarding the stock exchange.
Yeah, she has the eyes right on the stock exchange.
Yes.
Okay.
You see that pole right there? See the pole?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
It's a
Okay,
purple
come
thing
on.
right there. It's her history.
Wait till
Ah,
she.
okay, I can read it.
Yeah.
Okay, nice to meet you. Thank you so
You
much.
too.
Okay. I'm so curious what's up with this little girl statue and why everyone takes a picture with that statue. Actually, let's see. There's a sign explaining it, I think. So the girl is the fearless girl, placed here in honor of International Women's Day 2017. So it doesn't seem to be a very old statue then. To celebrate the importance of having greater gender diversity on corporate boards and in company leadership positions. She also stands as an inspiration for the next generation of women leaders. Okay, so it actually matches to what the ladies over there told me already. Okay, I just walked for a few blocks and now I'm at the ferry pier because we are going to take the ferry to another part of New York, to Brooklyn over there. And over there I'm actually meeting up with two friends who are living in New York. Okay, but I think there's not only one ferry here, so I have to figure out which ferry to get onto. East River. So yeah, this is the East River here, I think. So the station where I want to go to is called Dumbo. So we are here now, Wall Street Pier 11, and I want to go to Dumbo. Okay, so I think if I understand this correctly, the next ferry is coming in like 10 minutes. Let's see if I can buy tickets here. Here we go. Let's see if I can figure this out. English press C, one way. No, I'm not sure. Do I need to put a destination in or not? Excuse me. I want to go to Dumbo.
Buy your tickets right there.
So I don't need to choose a destination, just one ticket?
Just one way.
One way. Okay, thank you. All right, so just any ticket here should be fine. Pay, and then it's $4.50. All right, that was 5. Change. Ticket right here. Okay, so this is the line to wait, and yeah, the lady said the next boat is coming in 10 minutes. All right, and here we go. And over there you can actually see plenty of helicopters. I think that's also a popular way to get around New York if you have the money for it. Probably a ride on a helicopter is way more expensive compared to a regular taxi ride. Actually, I read before that Uber offers helicopter rides here as well. I'm not sure if that's true. When I open my Uber app, I don't see a helicopter as an option. If anyone knows about that, let me know in the comments if that's actually something that you can book here. Uber ride in a helicopter. And yeah, in total there are 5 different areas in New York City. They are called boroughs here. And these boroughs are Manhattan, Staten Island, the Bronx, Queens and Brooklyn. So far we have only been to Manhattan and now we're crossing over to Brooklyn. And right there we can already see one of the famous places here in New York, the Brooklyn Bridge. And we're going to have a look at the bridge closer later. I'm actually going to walk back over the bridge back to Manhattan later on. And yeah, I think it's literally like a 3-4 minutes ride only. Just crossing the East River here. And yeah, this is a beautiful view here. The Brooklyn Bridge and then the skyline of Manhattan. That is a phenomenal, very cool view. Wow. And actually I don't even know why this bridge is so famous, but it's featured in so many movies about New York. Also so many people like to take pictures with this bridge or on this bridge. And right behind it we have the Manhattan Bridge. Wow.
Dumbo stop is Dumbo.
Alright, and yeah, this was literally a 3-minute ride, and I can already say this was not the last time we're gonna take a ferry today. We're gonna take another one later on to a very iconic place, so stay tuned. Okay, and let's see if I can find my friends. They are here already. Alright, and I see them. Hello, hello. Hello.
Bring it in.
Oh, family hug here in New
Yeah,
York.
man. It's the last time we see each other. Thailand, 4 years ago.
Thailand, nice to see you again.
So.
Wow, hello, hello. I'm very happy to be in your city.
Yeah.
Alright, if you are a very long-term follower on my channel, if you already watched my videos in 2020 in Malaysia, then you maybe recognize these two. Rake and Jumi right here. They also have a YouTube channel called Food and Footprints. And you are from New York, born and raised here?
Yeah, Queens kid.
Alright, and we are here now to get a famous New York meal.
Yep.
Let's go. Oh, look at that. All the Thai flags here. They're having Singa beer over there. A Thai restaurant in New York.
Oh, we have a whole Thai area where we live. in
Oh, really?
Queens. Yeah, Little Thailand Street, yeah.
I noticed already, I have the feeling New York is super international.
It is.
Like, I had so many taxi drivers from all over the world already. I see restaurants from everywhere.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
when you go to the outer areas like Queens, other parts of Brooklyn.
So your home neighborhood is Queens, right?
Queens, yeah. It's the most diverse area in the world. We have over 200 languages spoken. It's crazy.
Over 200 languages
Yeah,
spoken in
Queens, just Queens alone.
Wow.
Yeah. All right,
Is this
let's
the
see
spot
here.
where we're going to?
Yeah.
Alright, we are now at Juliana's Pizza, a very iconic pizza joint here in New York City. Oh yeah, look at that. Very busy, very popular. And I can already tell you it smells fantastic in here. Just walking in here and the smell is already amazing. So I trust you. You can order what's good here to try.
Do one large margarita pizza to go.
Alright, so just like that we order it, classical margarita pizza. And the price was $33 US. So what?
Yeah, no tip. Yeah, anytime there's takeaway, you never tip.
Takeaway you don't tip?
No, never.
Okay,
I only do tip when it's like a sit down, you get a sit down service. If you go to a bar, you buy a drink, maybe you pay $1 for a beer.
What about taxi drivers and Uber drivers?
Uber, usually we don't. You can, we don't usually.
And regular taxis?
We never take regular
Never
taxis.
tip as well?
No.
Yeah, I have to say that the tipping culture here is a bit confusing for me.
It is, yeah.
Alright, and here we have it. That looks actually like a huge pizza.
Yeah.
What's that, like a paper bag?
Yeah, it's
You
rare.
don't have-
Usually you get a pizza box, you know?
Exactly, that was what I was asking for. You don't have these pizza boxes here? Okay, so
not.
now the plan is we're gonna head over to the riverfront and eat it over there.
Yeah.
Alright, let me smell it.
Oh, it's
Smells so good. Okay, excited to try it. Alright, and we just walked for about 2 minutes. We are back at the beautiful ocean front with this iconic view to the skyline with the Brooklyn Bridge right here. Look at that. That is the famous picture spot. Actually, let me capture that one time without the fans here. So here we have, this is a very iconic view over to Manhattan. That's a beautiful picture actually as well. And yeah, we're gonna sit here in the shade. And now let's try the famous New York pizza. So my first time trying pizza in New York. Let's open it, okay. It's like opening Christmas gifts.
I know, right?
Oh, they have like a round plate almost. Oh wow, look at that. Okay, the first question that I have, and I'm sure you can answer that. So in Germany, American pizza is always a very thick pizza. So I was thinking that a typical American pizza will be a thick one because I associate thin pizzas usually with Italian style. So what are we having here is a very thin one.
So I'd say New York's really famous for thinner crust pizza, though we have different styles too. We have something called Sicilian or Grandma, that's usually like a thicker crust that's served in a pan. This one's more hand tossed, it's thin crust.
Yeah.
Different parts of America have different styles of pizza, right? So there's Chicago, there's a deep dish, which is very heavy and thick. So we say American pizza, it depends on the region, you know?
So yeah, in Germany, American pizza is always this very thick one. Okay.
So it's fresh mozzarella, this one.
Fresh mozzarella.
Yeah.
So classical margarita, just mozzarella, tomato sauce and basil. Let's give it a try. It's very nice. It's not too oily. Like sometimes a pizza is or can be very oily and I don't really like that, but this one not oily at all. It's very thin. The crunchy part here is very nice. Oh, that's delicious. My first time eating a pizza in New York and it's a really, really good one. So you've tried this pizza before, right?
Oh, many times. I've been eating this pizza for many years. So this one actually what makes it unique too is that it's baked in a coal oven, which is pretty rare to find in New York. So we usually in New York usually eat it like this.
You fold it together like this.
I love that fresh mozzarella. It's very fresh flavors here. Got the fresh tomato, basil comes in. I love the crust too. That char on the bottom is really nice.
And the background view behind you, that's a view right here. Brooklyn Bridge, clear blue sky. Ah, thank you for taking me here. It's a
pleasure.
beautiful stop on my day exploring New York here. So you actually just called the pizza a pie.
A pie, yeah.
Why is that?
So in New York, usually we get pizza by the slice, right? So they sell it usually one slice at a time. If you go to like a typical pizzeria here, but you can also order the entire pizza. They call it a pie. So you want to get a whole pie.
I never heard
Yeah.
that word before for a pizza. Like a pie is something I associate like an apple pie.
Yeah.
You know? So New York, you say pie for whole pizza.
Pie, slice, yeah.
Okay, good to know. Okay, and we came to the Brooklyn Bridge. We are now underneath it. And do you actually know how old this bridge is? It's pretty old, right?
Old. I don't know how many years exactly. It's got to be maybe 1800s.
Oh, and it's still like the original bridge.
They've,
you know?
they've had to do a lot of maintenance over the years for it,
Yeah.
but it's still the same.
But I have to say, it actually looks much bigger
Yeah.
than it looks on the pictures. Like, it's actually a huge bridge. I was not expecting that. Wow.
It's beautiful.
But yeah, there's one very famous and iconic photo spot around here, which is actually not this bridge, but the bridge over there, the Manhattan Bridge. I don't know why, but I always thought this iconic picture, if you see it in a minute, you will know what I mean. I always thought that picture is with the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah, it's the Manhattan Bridge, but it's in Brooklyn.
And you know where to find that spot?
Yeah.
Okay, then let's go there.
That's why the area is called Dumbo. It's saying down under Manhattan Bridge overpass. That's what Dumbo stands for.
Ah.
It's not Dumbo the elephant. It's
That's what I was thinking about, yeah. Down under
Manhattan Bridge overpass. Yep.
Overpass, okay. And I have to say, that's something I noticed in New York.
Everywhere.
It smells a lot, the green plant, a lot. I smell it
Wide open.
everywhere. So I guess that's legal. I mean.
Fully legal, yeah.
Fully legal here. So you can even on the streets, no problem?
Yeah. You're not supposed to in parks, but
Yeah.
people still do it.
I'm just smelling that, and yeah, I noticed that a lot here in New York already.
It's everywhere.
Okay, and here we are, and this is probably the photo you have seen before, right? This view, the Manhattan Bridge. This is not the Brooklyn Bridge, Manhattan Bridge. And then yeah, these iconic buildings on the left, on the right. Yeah, one of the one of the most popular photo spots in New York City right here as well. And you can see if I turn the camera around now, it's full with people taking pictures here.
It's an active street, you know?
It's an active street as well. Well, and somebody left their trash bin in the middle of the street.
You see this little garbage can in the middle?
Yeah. What will happen now? Who will feel responsible to remove the trash? Ah, there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, it's actually a nice car, a German Porsche.
Yeah.
Yeah, you Americans say Porsche.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wrong. That's not how you call this car.
No.
Okay, and of course I just took a picture here as well. Jumi actually took the picture. Thank you very much. Because yeah, one of my goals for today is also to collect 4 iconic pictures in New York. So this was the first picture, 3 more to follow. And yeah, you always see this view in all the pictures on Instagram and in all the videos. This view right here. But yeah, if you're curious to see what's it like behind it, that's what it's looking like. Full with people, of course. But I also have to say the buildings here look really cool. Like I could imagine this is a very old building. And actually Greg just told me that whenever you see a sign in New York, a street sign with a brown color, that means it's a historic place.
Yeah. So this one, it says Dumbo Historic District. See? On top.
Yeah, so
Yep.
let me show you that from close. So this is a brown sign, Water Street, and yeah, historic district. Because yeah, the usual street signs here are usually blue. Oh, yeah, you can be a tourist in your own city as well.
Sometimes. Usually we're just with friends, you know?
Yeah, I guess like the only reason for you to come to these places if you have friends or family in town, right?
Usually, yeah.
Like you never think on a random Saturday, oh, let's come here.
Last place we go, actually.
Can I get the moon shake, banana, mango, pineapple, 1, and then what?
Mango, orange, pineapple.
And mango, orange, pineapple.
See, cut the orange.
Oh, yeah, he's actually cutting the fresh fruits. Yeah. It's real fresh fruits, right?
Fresh.
Not syrup. Yeah, so actually fresh fruits. But I don't see any prices here. So is that a common thing that they don't put the prices?
Yeah, especially in tourist neighborhoods, they don't put the prices.
So would you say if an American asks, he gets another price than a tourist?
No, we still will get even if you hear the accent from another area, like if you have like an accent from the south or somewhere else.
Oh, okay.
I think in general they're gonna kind of just, hopefully this guy's honest.
What would you say is a normal price?
Maybe like 7 or 8, but here probably 10 because it's a touristy area.
Per smoothie altogether?
Yeah, per smoothie.
Okay. I would be curious, like these street stalls here, do you think they are paying rent to the owner of the building or whatever?
How it works, you see the sticker there? It's a permit.
It's a permit, yeah.
There's the A letter is the health inspection rating, so they get inspected for health inspection, so the A is the best rating.
Okay.
But behind it, the yellow sticker is a permit.
So they are paying like a fee to the city or?
It's actually a waiting list. The city has a cap on the amount of permits they issue to street food vendors. So there's a long waiting list, like 10 years. If you get that permit, it's just a few $100s a year. But if you don't have the permit, people end up doing they rent from somebody else under the table.
I see.
But that person may rent it out for $20,000 for 2 years.
I could imagine if you have a cart like this at one of the most famous places in one of the most famous cities, it's probably good money as well.
It is.
So here we have the fresh fruits. Pineapple, strawberry, watermelon. And he puts everything in the mixer right here. You mix it with milk?
No milk.
No milk. Okay, just a pure juice then. What about sugar? You add sugar? Here we have the sugar. Yeah, you hear the noises from the bridge. That's the train actually. There's I think it's a subway train crossing the bridge as well. Okay, so my smoothie is ready. And now let's pay. How much?
24. Do you want to tip a change?
Would you tip?
Tip?
Let's do 10% then, yeah? Okay, so 29.80.
Good guy, good guy.
Where are you from?
Egypt.
Egypt. Okay, shukran.
Shukran.
So, you estimated the wrong price.
More?
Including tip, 29 something.
Oh my god. How much was tip?
Tip 10%. So the original price was 27.
Wow.
So I guess that was a New York tourist price.
Oh, definitely.
But I have to say it's really good actually.
It is, yeah.
I really like it, yeah.
Now we're gonna walk the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah, so actually also a very popular thing to do. So we're not only going to have a look at the bridge, we're actually going to walk over it. And the goal is now to walk the bridge over back into Manhattan. So how long does it take to walk over?
Depends how fast you walk. Maybe 45 minutes.
45 minutes? Oh, but this is an iconic view again. How many times did I say it in this video already? Oh, that's a famous place, that's an iconic view. I feel like New York is full with moments like this. That's a famous place, that's a famous place, wow. Okay, and actually the sun is getting really strong now. You didn't tell me it's hot like in Asia here. But actually I have to say, like, it doesn't feel as hot walking around here compared to walking in Southeast Asia. But yeah, you can actually really see that this bridge is really old. Like, I would guess that the color of the bridge was very different when the bridge was first built. It looks like it's rusting. And then
they keep it maintained pretty well.
It looks like they just painted over it, but with brown color actually to keep the iconic brown look, I guess.
Yeah, they do a nice job of maintaining the bridge.
But yeah, it looks beautiful, and yeah, you're walking on wood.
The fact that you can just enter here for free, you don't pay anything.
It's a free tourist attraction, yeah.
It is.
And I see people also hanging the locks here.
Well, every bridge is always locked somewhere.
Yeah, all around the world. You see these locks. In Germany, they often remove them because the bridge gets too heavy when thousands of people put their locks on it. So the city actually removes them.
Yeah.
Wow, it's also pretty high. And yeah, we have some shade here now, so
that's why everyone's here. It's cool now.
Time to take a little rest. Yeah, 1869. Is that the year it was built, do you think?
I think so, yeah. You see John Roebling. Yeah, he's done a few bridges around America too.
So I guess this is the original sign from back then.
Yeah.
Probably. Okay, and from here you can actually see the skyline of basically all of Manhattan. So we have Lower Manhattan and then Midtown, the Empire State Building right there. And behind the skyline is the Central Park where we have been earlier.
Manhattan actually goes even further than that. It goes up to like 215th Street.
So even behind the Central Park, right?
Oh, way further. It's another 100 blocks after that.
Yeah. But yeah, this is, I think, the city in the world with the most skyscrapers at one place. Like the biggest skyline in the world, I think.
And it's only gotten bigger in the last 10 years.
Like if I compare that to, like, for example, the skyline in Shanghai is very impressive.
Yes.
But it's way fewer buildings. Not as many as here.
Yeah, even Hong Kong is up there too. I still think New York's got more, but Hong Kong is up there.
And yeah, later in the video we're going to see a whole overview over the total skyline from the observation deck, but that will be later in the video. Okay, and just like that we walked over the whole bridge and total time was 20 minutes only, so not that long. I have the feeling this side is busier than the other side, so it seems like more people get on the bridge from the Manhattan side.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, of course, it's the more popular area on this
downtown
side.
too.
Yeah, but they actually have some other plans, so I'm going to head to the next spot on my own again. So thank you very much for showing me around.
My pleasure.
But yeah, you guys are actually running New York street food tours, right?
That's right, yeah.
You want to give us like a quick rundown on what you're doing?
Sure. So we actually run a street food tour, and the best street food neighborhood in New York is in Queens, a very local neighborhood. We'll show you lots of street food you can't really find anywhere else. And if you want to book the tour, I'll put the link in the description. Kind of put that for you, and come visit us.
Yes, I can leave a link to your tour in the description. And you guys are honestly, from all the people I know, the ones that know the most about food. So they are very knowledgeable when it comes to food. So yeah, if you're coming to New York and you want to have a proper street food tour, then check the link in the description and book a tour with them. Okay, and the place where we are right now is one of the most famous famous places in New York City, but for a very sad reason. And this is the 9/11 Memorial, and it is located right exactly at the spot where the two twin towers, which got hit by two planes in 2001, stood. And I know that most of my viewers here are older than I am, and I well remember that day in 2001, so I'm very sure most of you do as well. It was a day that I will always remember for my whole life, even though I'm not even an American. So I guess if you're an American watching this, your feelings about what happened on 9/11 are probably even stronger than my feelings as a German. And I really well remember that day. I was 10 years old in 2001, and I remember I came back home from school. It was early afternoon in Germany already, and then my grandma called, and she was totally in panic, and she said like, oh, there's going to be a new war, there's going to be a new war, turn on the TV, America is under attack. And then I turned on the TV, and by the time I turned on the TV, only the first tower has been hit. And then I remember watching live on TV how the second plane flew into the second tower. And even though I was just 10 years old, I could feel like this is like a major historic event happening right in front of my eyes on TV. And standing now at the exact spot where this happened, like this was the foundation of one of the towers right here. So the tower stood right here, and then the second tower just around the corner here. Yeah, and I can feel there's a feeling to this place. And here around this fountain we have all the names written from all the people who died here on that day. Wow, it's a sad moment to stand here, to be honest, and remembering that day. I'm curious to hear your memories in the comments about this day. If you would like to share, feel free to do so in the comments. And yeah, just a few weeks ago I watched another one of these 9/11 documentaries, and I even read about some conspiracy theories. Some people believe that it was actually an inside job, that the American government was involved in what happened on that day. It's a very deep rabbit hole that you can go into if you start researching about that. I'm actually curious, if you are American, what are most of the people believe in America? Because from what I saw in that documentary, which was about the conspiracy theories, like many people got interviewed there and they all said, yeah, it was definitely an inside job. So do many Americans actually believe that, or is it actually just a small minority of people who believe that it was an inside job? And actually I wanted to take another selfie here for my New York selfie collection, but to be honest with you, I feel like this is not the right place to take a happy selfie, you know. And I actually don't understand that some people are taking like selfies here, doing like smiling poses, and I see that quite a lot around here, which to be honest I don't really understand. I feel like this is a place where you should be respectful, so I will skip taking a happy New York selfie right here. And yeah, this tower right here is the new World Trade Center. I think the exact name is One World Trade, and this building was built after these buildings here got destroyed. So that's the new World Trade Center right here. And yeah, I also just visited the 9/11 Memorial Museum behind me, and that place is also definitely worth checking out. I spent in total over 1 hour in there. You can see many original pieces from that day, like there's an original fire truck that was on duty that day, plenty of pieces, debris from the towers. It's a very touching experience walking through there, but I would say definitely worth it if you are coming here. The entrance fee was $36 plus $11 for an audio guide, which was worth it, by the way. And yeah, I filmed a whole video walking through that museum, but that video will be on my second channel, Ken Abroad Live. So if you want to see that, there's a link in the description to my second channel. And yeah, I just imagine like that's the exact position where one of the towers was located. So on September 11, 2001, you could still, like in the morning at least, still see the tower standing right here, the second tower right here. And then yeah, just imagine how the plane flew right from here inside the tower. Phew. That's a strong imagination, how it must have felt to witness that standing here live. I would be curious if anyone of you watching this has been in New York City on September 11, 2001. I would be very curious to hear your memories or thoughts from that day. But yeah, this is now one of the most important historic places in modern America. But yeah, let's head over to the next spot on our list today. Okay, and almost got run over by the bike. Yeah, we came to the very southern end of Manhattan. There's a place here called Battery Park, and we came here for a very specific reason, because as I said earlier, we're gonna take a ferry again today, and that's what we're going to do here, to a very iconic and famous place. And yeah, there's a big sign here, scam alert. Illegal ticket vendors are selling deceptive tickets that cannot access the Statue of Liberty or Ellis Island. And that tells you already where we are going. We're going to see the Statue of Liberty now. And that is probably going to be my personal highlight, I think. The ferry to the statue is here. Thank you. So yeah, I did buy the ticket already in advance for the ferry. The price was about $25 US. And yeah, there's a security screening area here. I think it's gonna be similar like at an airport. Yep, that's what it's looking like. So I see you on the other side. Okay, that was quick and easy. And yeah, the ticket that I have is the ferry ride to the island on which the statue is on. And then also, I think in theory, I can take the ferry also to Ellis Island. And yeah, unfortunately, so there are also tickets available to go inside the statue and even to go to the head. That would have been really cool. I would have loved to do that. But these tickets are sold out like 3 months in advance. So I actually bought the ticket about a week ago. And then yeah, the ticket to go inside the statue are sold out for the next 3 months. So I was too late for that. So keep that in mind. If you want to do that, you need to book these tickets very early. Okay, and here we are on the ferry. I do think it's not a long ride. And yeah, I can see the statue already right over there. Probably a bit small on the camera, but yeah, what a moment. I'm going to enjoy the moment later on even more when I'm close to the statue. But yeah, this is now my first glimpse to the statue. Alright, we have a little cafeteria here, so you can buy some drinks and snacks and already some souvenirs here. We want to take home a small version of the statue. And yeah, you actually can also see the statue for free. There's a ferry here called Staten Island Ferry. Staten Island is another part of New York, which I think is behind the statue from here. And I have been told that if you take the Staten Island Ferry, which is completely for free, it goes by the Statue of Liberty, and then you can have a look at it for free. But then of course you can't access the island on which the statue is on, which I would like to do. I have the feeling not many people are going here in the afternoon. Like the boat is pretty empty. There's literally nobody here. Okay, let's see how many minutes we need to reach the island over there. Alright, and that was a quick 10-minute journey, and here we are. Okay, my first impression here, the island is bigger than I would have expected. I thought it's literally just the statue and then maybe like, I don't know, like a circle of like 100 meters around it. But it seems like the island is actually bigger than that. What is that? Oh, a seagull. Sounded like a monkey at first. Would have been surprised to see monkeys here in New York. Here we have a little map of the island. So the statue is right here at the front of the island, and then you have all this right here in the back. So it looks like you can buy food here, probably a souvenir shop. We have bathroom facilities here. So it's not only just a statue on this island. And wow, what a view. The American flag, the skyline of Manhattan in the background. This is an amazing view. Okay, so now we're having a view to Manhattan from the different sides. So earlier, when we ate the pizza with Greg and Jumi, that was over there. You can see the Brooklyn Bridge far in the distance. And then we had the view from that side to Manhattan, and now we're looking to Manhattan from this side. And actually you can also see New Jersey on the left here. Yeah, beautiful skyline, definitely. And yeah, stay tuned. At the end of this video, we're going to an observation deck to see the skyline from above. I think that's also going to be a very cool view. I think the seagulls I have seen so far in my life were way smaller than this. Are they bigger in the US? Isn't there a saying everything is bigger in the US? I think that's actually Texas. Everything is bigger in Texas, right? But these seagulls, they look huge actually. And here we have the Statue of Liberty, one of the most famous places, if not the most famous place here in the United States. And this is probably one of the most famous tourist spots of the world. I'm very sure every one of you knows this statue or has seen this statue in movies before. Wow, and standing here and seeing it with my own eyes, that is a very, very special feeling. And yeah, if you know me, then you know these are my favorite moments when I travel, seeing famous places for the very first time with my own eyes. And I have to say, the statue even looks taller than I would have expected. It looks massive actually. Also the foundation around it looks way bigger than I would have thought. Wow. And yeah, the view of the statue is right over there, so not really to Manhattan and also not to the open ocean. I would have expected that the statue looks to the open ocean, but the view is actually to over there, and then the open ocean I think is more towards that direction. And then yeah, we have Manhattan right here, so from here to the right side of the statue. And yeah, look at this view, this is amazing. The statue and then the skyline of Manhattan in the background. This is literally one of the most famous places in the world, and I'm very happy to be here and very excited to share this moment with all of you guys. Wow. I think this is my favorite place to see here in New York. I mean, New York is full with famous places, but I think this one is the most famous, the most iconic one. Wow, this is incredible. I love moments like this so much. Yeah, what many people actually don't know, this statue was actually built in France and then gifted to the United States as a symbol of the friendship between France and the United States. And the statue was completed in 1884 in France and then shipped to the United States in 1885 and officially dedicated on October 28, 1886 here in the New York Harbor. And yeah, this is a symbol that represents freedom and democracy. And the broken chains at the feet of the statue symbolized the abolition of oppression and tyranny. And yeah, a few hundred years ago, many people immigrated to the United States. They arrived here via boat, mostly from Europe. And when they reached the United States after probably a few weeks on the ocean, this was, the first thing they saw. And can you imagine the feeling after being on the ship for weeks? Then suddenly you see this statue appearing on the horizon. Oh, that must have been a very cool feeling for the people back in the days. And probably also a feeling of relief, finally seeing that statue after such a long journey. And again, look at this seagull. This is a monster. This is huge. Is that normal here in New York or in America in general? Maybe they are just tiny in my country where I'm from. And yeah, I just also took my next iconic photo. And yeah, by the way, if you want to see all the photos that I took, feel free to head over to my Instagram. I'm also called Ken Abroad on Instagram. By the time this video is published, the pictures will be already posted. So yeah, feel free to head over, leave a comment that you're coming from the YouTube video, and feel free to follow me also on Instagram. I'm posting stories, live updates, behind the scenes. So Ken Abroad on Instagram as well. And yeah, just so that you have seen it as well, this is the back side of the statue. Looks like the entrance to a prison here, but yeah, I think this is probably one of the most secured areas in New York because it's one of the most famous places. And yeah, this is what the statue looks from the back. I forgot the height of the statue. I will put it on the screen here, but yeah, like I said, actually looks taller in real life than I would have thought based on the pictures or videos I have seen of the statue before. Okay, I'm running to catch the ferry because the next one is leaving in 30 minutes. Alright, yeah, I spent half an hour here now. There's not really need to spend longer than that. I mean, there's a gift shop as well, which I haven't entered yet, and I'm actually too tall to stand on this ferry. But yeah, I would say half an hour is enough. If you really want to take your time, then an hour max, I would say. Okay, and I am on Ellis Island now, a very historic place in the United States, because this little island here was basically an immigration center for everyone arriving to the United States via boat from overseas. So there's a building here, and the passengers who arrived had to go through these halls here to immigrate into the United States. And here in total over 12 million immigrants entered the United States through Ellis Island, and it served as an immigration center from 1892 to 1954. And I can imagine that visiting this place must be very special as an American, because many Americans have ancestors who immigrated, for example, from Europe to the United States. And if you know, for example, that your great-great-great-grandparents immigrated through Ellis Island, through this exact building, and then visiting this place, I'm sure that is a very special feeling. If any one of you watching this knows that their grandparents immigrated through here, and if you have visited this place, I would love to hear from you in the comments. And yeah, the building is a museum now, lots of information about immigration into the USA, and there's actually also a room in which Americans can trace their ancestors. So another very interesting stop, definitely, especially if you're into history, and this is for sure a very historic place here in the United States. And what is interesting as well is that the famous Titanic was also supposed to arrive here, and I just spoke to one of the guys working here, and he explained that big ships like the Titanic actually didn't arrive on Ellis Island. Instead, they arrived in the harbor of Manhattan, and then smaller ferries took the passengers to Ellis Island, and then here they officially immigrated into the United States. But yeah, look at this, the weather has changed. It is now raining, which is very, very bad for what I have planned for this evening. So I'm gonna wait for the ferry now, again head back to Manhattan, and then fingers crossed the weather will change. Okay, I am back in Manhattan, and before we're going to head to our final stop, earlier I told you that I'm going to talk about my impressions Los Angeles versus New York. So how does New York compare to Los Angeles? Both cities cities are probably the most famous cities in America. And yeah, I just spent some time in Los Angeles a few weeks ago and now some time here in New York City. And there's something that I noticed which is a huge difference. And that is that I'm actually feeling safer here in New York compared to Los Angeles. Also, there are way less homeless people around here. In Los Angeles, literally everywhere, plenty and plenty of homeless people. Whether it was in Venice Beach, Santa Monica, Hollywood, around my hotel at the airport, everywhere, a lot of them. And I saw maybe a handful of homeless people so far here in New York City. So that seems to be way better in control here. So overall, I feel a bit safer in New York City compared to how I felt in Los Angeles. And then the vibe in Los Angeles was also different. Of course, the weather there is a bit better. It was always sunny. The temperature was higher. Then you have all the palm trees around. So the vibes are very different compared to the concrete jungle of New York City. But I like both places, to be honest. And in terms of prices, I would say New York is even more expensive than Los Angeles. And what I really like in New York City is that most of the places are pretty walkable. If you remember my Los Angeles video, I had to take a lot of Uber rides around the city because all the famous places are pretty spread around the city, and then my hotel was near the airport, which is another corner again. And here you could see it today that I actually walked a lot around the places. So many parts in the city here are actually quite walkable, and that is of course a big plus because taxi prices here are crazy. But yeah, overall I enjoyed my time in Los Angeles as well a lot, and I'm sure I'm going to visit Los Angeles again in the future. But I'm also having very good first impressions of New York City so far. And if you would ask me now to really pick one city, I would probably go with New York. And yeah, now the good news, the rain has stopped and I'm going to get a taxi now. It's about a 20-minute taxi ride to the next stop. And trust me, the last stop of today is a very good one. See you there. Okay, and about half an hour later and I made it to the Rockefeller Center. And yeah, the taxi ride to get here was $60 US. And yeah, for the highlight of the day, for ending the day, we are going to visit the viewing platform up there. And yeah, we made it here right in time for sunset. It's sunset time in about 20-25 minutes. Actually, I'm not 100% sure if this is the right building, to be honest, but it's the highest building around here, so I think it must be this one. Let's see. Ah yes, it is the right building, the Rockefeller Center. So I booked the ticket already in advance online. I will give you some more details about that in a minute. First, let me figure out how this actually works. How do I get to the observation deck?
Make a left and a left.
And there's a separate entrance for that?
Yeah, you're gonna see a red carpet that says observation deck.
Okay, thank you. Okay, apparently the entrance to the observation deck is around the corner. And yeah, there are several different viewing platforms overlooking Manhattan here in the city. I think there are in total 5 very famous and iconic ones. For example, the one at the Empire State Building. But I choose to go with the one at the top of the Rockefeller Center, which is called On Top of the Rocks, because I heard it's not as crowded as the other ones. And from here you have a 360-degree view, including to the Central Park. And I think this is probably the waiting line, which I can luckily skip because I bought an express ticket. Alright, that was already worth the extra money if I look at the long queue out there. Okay, so the price for the regular ticket for sunset time is $66 if I remember correctly, and I paid $125. And yeah, that express ticket allowed me to skip the lines, so I can go straight up. And also with the express ticket I can show up here at any time. If you book a regular ticket, that is attached to a certain time slot.
To build a magnificent new opera house right here in the heart of Manhattan.
As the work goes on, John D. wants to create more than just buildings.
Okay, and here we are, 67th floor. This is not the only viewing area here, so I'm going to show you several ones. But this is the one looking over the Central Park. So as you can see, the Central Park, now you can actually see how large it is. Like earlier, where we've been was just the corner area over there. But yeah, I actually want to see the other side, which is the more interesting side, where we can see the Empire State Building, for example, and the rest of Manhattan. Okay, and we're taking another escalator up to the highest floor, or the highest floor that we can visit. Okay, and here we are. So we have another view through the Central Park. And yeah, we can see we almost made it here too late. Sunset is happening in just a few minutes. But yeah, this is already an impressive view. But yeah, let's make it over to the other side. And yeah, sunset is happening right over there. Unfortunately, it's a bit cloudy today, so it's not the best sunset weather. And I guess sunset time is also one of the most popular times to come up here. Oh yeah, it's actually super crowded here. And remember what I said earlier, this is supposed to be one of the less popular observation decks in New York. So imagine how full the other ones are at the moment, because this one is totally packed. Okay, let's see if I can squeeze somewhere in between so I can get a clear view as well. Because this right here is the view that everyone comes to see. Alright, there's a gap here now, so here we are. This is the #1 view here. So we have the Empire State Building now right in the center, Far in the distance we can see the World Trade Center as well. Now in the center of the image. What a view this is. Probably the most impressive skyline in the world, I would say. And yeah, I like to visit observation decks like this right before sunset, because then you can usually see 3 impressive views. The day view, the sunset view, and then you wait for 20-30 minutes and then you can see the night view. So that's what I'm gonna do now as well, so I can show you also the night view in a few minutes. Okay, and I also just took my last and final iconic picture that I wanted to take. Okay, and here we are on the highest floor, where it's even busier. Wow, that is incredible. If you want to come here for sunset time, you can expect a huge crowd. And yeah, the construction of the building started in 1931 and the building was officially opened in 1939. So it is almost 100 years old. And the height of the whole building is 259 meters. And yeah, the building is also very famous for its tradition to put a Christmas tree every year in front of it. Maybe you have seen the famous Rockefeller Center Christmas tree before. And yeah, it was really worth it to stay here until after sunset. In my opinion, the night view looks even more astonishing, more incredible than the daylight view up here. It's really incredible to see the city come alive after sunset with all the lights around here. That looks really, really cool, I have to say. And I think this is probably the coolest skyline I've ever seen around the world. So far, the Shanghai skyline was my favorite one, and that one is also super impressive. But this one is so much bigger and more spread out. The Shanghai skyline on the other side is way more modern. This is more like a historic skyline. And many of the buildings here are around 100 years old, so you can't really compare it to like modern skylines like Shanghai, for example. But yeah, this skyline I think is my favorite of all the skylines I have seen around the world. And also one of the most famous pictures of New York has been shot here during the construction of the building. You probably have seen this photo before, and you can actually recreate this picture here. If you pay $25 extra, they put you up this beam. I think it is 100% worth visiting New York City. I really enjoyed my time here. And my favorite thing was, yeah, seeing all these super famous places that I have seen before in so many different movies. And yeah, like I said already in my previous video, visiting New York City has been a dream of mine since I was a child. So being able to fulfill that dream was literally one of my favorite travel experiences ever. New York City is quite pricey though. The total price for everything I paid today is this one right here. But still, I would say it's really worth visiting. And yeah, in the next episode, I'm actually going to leave New York City. I'm heading to another interesting city here in the US, so stay tuned for that. And if you haven't seen my previous video, my arrival here, getting some first impressions, and also visiting the famous Times Square, then feel free to check out the video right here. Stay healthy, stay positive, and then see you on the next episode from the US. Ciao, guys.